this morning we're joined by architect Inya Etok, who is the Ezekiel Inya Etok, who is the Executive Director, Estate Services of the Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria and Director General of the Nigeria First Project. It's good to see you in our studios this morning.
Thanks for having me. It's always good to be here.
You're still wearing the hat of the Nigeria First Project,
Oh,
right?
yeah, DG.
DG. Interesting. I wonder how that is panning out now with, with the combination of political parties concerned.
Okay, the Nigeria First Project was an NGO that I registered about 6 years ago. So it's strictly an NGO. And we just had this vision that a time has come when we need to look inwards and then raise a new crop of Nigerians that were patriotic, that saw this country as their own, and try to influence every policy of government to make sure that the attention is primarily on Nigeria. Actually, it's more than 6 years ago, because it was about 3 months after we had started Nigeria First that Donald Trump came with America First, and we're like, he should pay us, for our copyright. Whatever it's worth, the focus was trying to get the policies of government, the people of Nigeria, to see Nigeria as their own. And I felt really, really elated when the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria took that up as a state policy. So we felt really, really accomplished, and we felt very good about it.
Well, this is where we are right now. You are now also serving in government as Executive Director, Estate Services, Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria.
Yes.
And we know that in recent times, well, I do know that when you were appointed, shortly after you were appointed, we had a conversation, myself and yourself had a conversation on a sister program as to what exactly your plans were for the FHA and, where it currently was, because there had been plenty of complaints. Right here in the Federal Capital Territory, there have been times when residents of certain areas will complain to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. They said, look, you guys are not under my purview. You are under the FHA. And then if there's one prominent place we know is the purview. Exactly. Guarimpa is another place.
Guzape
is under the FHA, as well as some parts of Lugbe Federal Housing.
Lugbe.
Exactly.
Several
areas, as well as Festac Town in Lagos.
In Lagos, Sharada,
Nigeria.
in Kano, Diamond Estate, in Port Harcourt, Arugo Gardens in Imo State. 52 estates in all as at now, plus the new 17 that we're adding in the first phase that we're about to. Good. I think you...
Well, I guess the most vocal of all of them, from what I can see, have been those in Festac Town. And I'm sure that you have seen their complaints in not just the dailies, you've seen them also in electronic media complain about the state of infrastructure around their estates. What precisely is happening?
Okay, I'll tell you. When we came on board, incidentally, some of us were Festac fans. A lot of the young people will not remember this, but Festac was like the signature of all eyes, was a pride of Africa. People used to travel from neighboring countries to come and see Festac. It was a beauty to behold. And several months back, I had a meeting with the residents, and I felt really emotional because of what one of the people said. He had a choice of owning properties either on the island or in Festac. He left everything he had in the island and came to Festac, and he was so happy. But today, he regrets so much that he should have remained on the island instead of Festac. That's one part of the story. Now, what is the full story of Festac? A lot of people don't know. Festac is about 2,000 hectares. And what has been developed is only about 500 hectares, which means like a quarter. Now, in the master plan of Festac, because it was being developed in phases, they had, when you do a master plan, you kind of plan for the end so that at the end it's as good as a whole. So the roads were about 60 meters, because when you think in terms of calculating the traffic, you want to make sure that at the end, when the last is built, the traffic, the lanes are wide enough and big enough to accommodate all the traffics. But people, because it was done in phases, they did the first phase, and people started saying, these guys are wasteful. What sort of road are you doing for 60 meters? they started the Omoniles, they started selling the land and selling the land and selling the land, to the extent that as at today, if we were to restore the initial master plan, we will have to let go over 18,000 housing units. And no sane government is going to do that. So we have been trying and trying and trying, redesigning, bringing it down from 60 to 45, from 45 to even 30. And we're solving a lot of problems. Now, that's on one hand. On the second hand is that people don't know this. When I had the meeting of the residents, because all the estates are under my office, when I had a meeting of the residents, and with the, we have an amazing, I must add, this managing director who himself attends the meetings and makes sure that he is on hand, Honorable Oyetunde Ojo. When we had the meeting, I showed them the agreement of Festac. In the agreement, all avenue roads are to be handled by the state government. And all the internal roads are to be handled by the local government. And luckily for us, the local government was present. So when people put all the blame on FHA, it's really not so to be. Secondly, that notwithstanding, when we came in, we said, look, while we pursue those things, these are our residents. These are people who pay their ground rent to us, though they still pay tenement rent and the rest to the local government and everybody, the ground rent. These are our people. We sold the houses. We owe them certain obligations. And as we speak, we've already started doing some work. For instance, they will tell you, all the people will tell you, I'm trying to get the specifics, yes, the First Avenue, the junction, the Second Avenue junction that leads with the, they will see that we've done that ourselves. Secondly, our MD has been able to get FEMA to commit to doing the Second Avenue, the Seventh Avenue. And we believe that as soon as the budget is put in place, they'll come to do that. What am I trying to say?
But which one of the budgets now?
FEMA.
The 2025 budget, or?
We've just reached that agreement with them. And you know how government works. It works in, you have to capture whatever you want to do in the budget. So I believe whichever is the next cycle of budget, they've agreed to do it. So what we are doing, we're taking that, not only Festac, virtually all our estates are in states that you are not proud of. So we are internally, I'll give you, 2 days back, we commissioned 3 roads in the Apo Guzape estate. And the 3 roads had a total of about 1.2 kilometers. If you had to go by government rates, we should have spent maybe 3-4 billion to do that. But we've just completed and commissioned. And people don't know this. FHA is not on any budget. We don't have a dime from government. Every single money we spend is what we generate internally. So since we came in, the current management, we are doing everything humanly possible to ensure that we bring back the glory of Federal Housing Authority, because these are federal government estates. And the least we can do is give a face of such estates to look like what belongs to the government. So that's actually part of the story that we are meeting on ground. A lot of the past administrations, government is a continuum. We don't want to put any blames on people. We want to draw a line and ask ourselves, what can we do?
Perhaps it's just apportioning responsibility.
Yeah, I agree with you, but that's past. And, I made this analogy in this studio before. When you are driving, you have the windscreen from end to end, from top to bottom, and yet you have a rear view mirror that's just very tiny. If you drive with a rear view mirror, you are bound to crash, as important as it is. We have a whole future ahead of us, and that's what our MD CEO says. Let's draw a line and see what we can do and hold ourselves responsible for where we are today and see what efforts we can make.
Okay, well, we also have a resident of Festac Town joining us right now. He is Mr. Valentine Uduebo, and he joins us virtually. Mr. Uduebo, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning and welcome to the program. I do not know if you have heard the executive director so far, and I don't know if you've also found his words reassuring.
Good morning to all of us. I think I disagree slightly with what he said, because he mentioned First Avenue Second Avenue. I am right now on Second Avenue, and I'm going to Third Gates now. The roads are worse than it were before. And it's very unimaginable that after this long years of over 10 years and more, not even federal presence has been noticed in Festac. It was after a small protest we had around July 5th that prompted this immediate palliative we're seeing. And we are residents that we started our lives here. Our kids, we gave birth to our kids here. Our kids are well over 40-something years. This is our community. And the present state of this Festac is so very unacceptable. And we keep asking ourselves one question. Do we have a government that understands that this federal housing, of course, we understand the tri-party relationship that Festac is some part local government, state, and federal. We do understand. But on the part of the federal government, which is being headed by the federal housing, there is virtually nothing to go for. Let me just quickly tell you that we are aware of the shady things going on here. In Festac, all our parks have been sold by these same FHA executives. Recently, the waterworks station in 22 Road has been sold. We saw them taking equipment out of there. And we wonder what is going on. A utility that serves the public. The overriding public interest is there, and you sell it to an individual for what? For business. And you say, and I don't even understand what responsibility FHA is using on that.
Okay.
There are other parks that are sitting on drainages. You sold it, and persons have built homes on that drainage. That is why we have all the drainage blocked. You sell canal, you sell park, the recreation center, you sell virtually everything, not even considering the public who are the rightful owners of that facility. This is where we are today in Festac. I am going to a place like Lalakija where we are demolishing shanties. Shanties are overtaking the whole entirety of Festac. We don't have peace again. Okada everywhere, noise. Festac is, I think, it's an embarrassment to say Festac was the beauty, or was the beauty of Nigeria. Today, Festac is worse than Ajegule. Our parents moved from Ikoyi to Festac because they had a feeling that this is the new Nigeria. This is the beauty of the world. And today, all of them have moved back. So we are saying no to all of these unlawful sales of facilities that are meant for the public. We are saying no to years of federal government president absence here in Amuodofi. And we are calling on President Bola Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, to please partner with the local government. And we here, I'm the chairman of Take Back Festac, and we've put so much in line to ensure that we get sanity back in our community. We can't be asking for more than that now. We are begging now. We are begging.
Okay, so let me quickly, ask, because you have detailed this, and some people will say it's taken years to get to where Festac currently is. What are the current expectations? Because Architect Nyaitok was appointed last year, I think sometime in June or July last year, so he's just about a year in office. What are your expectations? Because he did say that he had a meeting with those, with residents of Festac Town. I do not know if you're a part of those who had that meeting with him, and if there was a plan to work out anything, and what the general expectations of the residents of Festac Town are.
Yeah, thank you. You see, I must tell you for free, I am not too happy with the MD. Because the first time he came on board, what I heard he was saying was people should go and bring 20,000 naira for the validation of their homes. I just looked at it and said, what is all of this again? Anyway, I ignored that. I haven't assumed office as the MD. Yes, it's only appropriate for him to have held a town hall meeting. Of course, he held the town hall meeting from some persons. I wasn't there. But which I have personally sent messages to Ojo on WhatsApp. I have called him. I have tried to discuss with him and have a commune with him, a safe one. He has not responded, and he's not bound by any right to respond to me anyway. But of course, as the MD of FHA, he has every obligation to attend to us. And we, the community, we are saying just small thing. Do our roads for us. Those places you have sold, that they have built homes on it, that have blocked our drainage, please revoke and let it go back to status quo. Our drainages are blocked. If it rains in Festac, my dear, you will regret why you live in Festac. You can't even drive on the road. If you permit me now, I will show you where I'm driving on right now. I have to park. Because the anchor said I should park because, gallop here and there, jumping, so it was unstable. He said I have to park. This is a very unholy situation we have found ourselves, and we are expecting that, look, government should swiftly come into action, get this palliative on ground. If you cannot even tar the road, there be palliative. Should have a sense of livelihood in this community. It is that bad. There's no road in Festac that is safe.
May I ask, what exactly will be the commitment of the residents of Festac Town?
Okay, fine. For we as residents of Festac Town, we've even tried on our own. With all due respect, I'm sorry. We had a very bad local government chairman of the one that just left. But the present one is collaborating with us. We are even on our own. We are doing palliatives. We are doing our roads by ourselves. We are putting our hard-earned money on ground to approach some of these. At yesterday, we were doing some potholes, filling some potholes, so that our people can just pass. Since we think we don't have a government. So our contribution is this. Even if you tell us that, look, this funding is not we have persons at ourselves that we can come up with funds. We will do this not ourselves. But if you tell them, they'll say, no, pay it to council, pay it to this man, pay it to that man, it will not be done. Our money will disappear. If you can't do it, give us the right to do it, we will do it. But no, you don't do it, you don't allow us to do it, you just keep us in such a very deplorable state of humanity. It's very unacceptable. And we're only appealing, please. We're only begging someone on Bola Tinubu, please, Mr. President, collaborate with local government chairman. Let us have a sense of livelihood, a sense of responsibility in this community. It was a sane environment before. My kids are not here because I'm afraid that they may be kidnapped. Security is on the peak because there's no road. The last time I called the Iraq commander for an issue, he couldn't get to me for over 1 hour. Why? In front of his station, he cannot even move swiftly. Is that horrible?
Well, Mr. Valentine Uduebo, we have to thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. I hope that you still stay on if you can. At least you can listen whilst your vehicle is moving. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. He's a resident of Festac Town and has joined us virtually to let us know the situation of things and the expectation of the residents there. Well, you have heard him.
Yes, I've heard
in
him.
No uncertain terms.
The very first thing is that I think Channels knows me. I'm probably one of the oldest guests in Channels.
Yeah, but the people have to know you.
No, yeah, I'm saying I'm trying to lay a foundation. I cannot come to a public space like this and say what the residents there are hearing. Anything I say must be factual. Two things. Yes, we did do a remedial work. Number two, yes, we did have a meeting where he didn't come. And in that meeting, as a matter of fact, I was told not to go for the meeting, that I would be stoned. It was packed and everything. But, when you have a feeling and you know what the people are going through, and you have a plan, you're not afraid to face them. And it turned out to be one of the best meetings that we had. And it lasted for hours. We sat down and looked at issues objectively. And I showed them that the roads, I showed them the agreement. I brought the agreement. All avenues are state government responsibility. All internal roads are local government responsibility.
Have you had a conversation with the state government?
We are discussing. We have plans A, B, C. So when people start to vilify a new administration, sometimes it can be demoralizing. I know the efforts that the MDCO does on a daily basis to get the state government and beyond the state government. And I said something again. I said 2nd Avenue and 7th Avenue, we have just gotten FEMA to commit to.
And that was where he was.
Exactly. So we didn't say it has been done. We say we've gotten FEMA to commit to doing it while we are still talking with the state government. Then in the past, FHA used to be about one man, the MD. No other person was known. But when we came together, our MDCEO says, you know what, let's have all the executive directors take responsibility for their areas while I do a general. And it's very rare to do that. And somebody like my friend who's just spoken there, I am in charge of estates. And the MD makes that clear to them. Please liaise with the person in charge directly. Okay? But people will not want, they think it's only MD, without MD, it can't be done. But luckily for me, the resident associations, we are liaising, we are talking, we are networking. And again, I want to put it on record, and I challenge him to publish one cell, one allocation that has been done by our administration in Festac. I challenge him openly because we took very hard decisions. Let me tell you this, you'll be shocked to hear that as we speak, including my MD, none of us rides a Prado or any of those things. The old vehicles that we met, that's what I brought to your station. That's what we use. Because we said, look, let's come and make a difference. Let's make a change for once. Any money we get, let's put back. That's why we're able to start to do certain roads. Do you know that for you to do 1.2 kilometers from internally generated revenue, imagine the cost. Where is the money coming from? We are on the street. My MD leads enforcement. We need to be able to, we couldn't pay salaries in FHA. Now we pay salaries, we pay minimum wage, and we've just upped our salary because we are working. But we owe those estates, every estate, that duty to make sure we network with them. And we've been having a lot of successes discussing. They said that we've seen an administration that is willing to talk with us. And
well, I know that Ayo has, I mean, I have a lot of questions, but Ayo has to get his questions through. Ayo, over to you.
Well, thank you, Mark. I know that we're running out of time as well, but to the issues that you have raised, Mr. Nyetuk, one question that bugged my mind for years, particularly about Festac Town. Like you said, I lived in Festac as well. We grew up there. You know, one question that bugs my mind is maintenance. The roads didn't suddenly get bad. And you spoke about FEMA. FEMA is also not a new agency of the federal government of Nigeria. And the FHA has been there. The FHA, the Federal Housing Authority, has been in the estate since it became something in the 70s into the 80s and all of that. So what happened to the maintenance culture that is supposed to forbid the experiences that people are having now? What's the assurance that we'll not get there again?
thank you. My brother, you know, in as much as I talk of the windscreen we face forward, there's also that rear view mirror. We can't help but look back from time to time to be able to drive well. I think that we owe Nigerians apology in some ways, the way we have acted in the past. Ayo, I want to ask you this. If in 1 year, a year plus, we are able to get people to commit to 2 avenues, imagine what will be in the 4 years that Mr. President has given us to be here. I believe that rather than look at the past, they didn't, let's look at the present. And I want Festac Town residents and all our estates to know that we can't come here and say they are not appreciating what we're, no. We feel the pain, we understand what they are going through, we feel the frustration vented over the years, and we are willing to take it and take it as a challenge and be able to do everything possible. We are right now, by the next few hours or so, I'll be on my way to Kano, Sharada Estate. There have been a lot of unethical things that have been done. People have not been able to have titles, so they have what you call dead capital. We are trying to
Mr. Yeto, just a second. I think the issues that I'm raising are being yes. You're kind of skating them. The question that I'm asking is, and you put the responsibility, you distributed it quite fairly. The federal government has responsibilities, the states have responsibilities, the local government have responsibilities. So there are avenues, there are roads, and there are closes, and you have said who is responsible for which. But then you also mentioned the Federal Road Maintenance Agency. You've also said that the authority is within the estate to ensure that things are done the way they should be done. Now, as I said, it didn't happen overnight. It happened over time. What happened? Who didn't do what was supposed to be done for 10, 15, 20 years until we got to where we are now? And what is the assurance?
Yes.
Just a second.
Yes.
What is the assurance we will not get back there again? Because if we don't mend the foundation, the house is definitely coming down.
I agree with you completely. Number one is that I insist, I will not want here to sit here and be telling they did not, they could not, they would not. No. what we are doing today. I'll tell you one of the most important things that we have done. I'm in charge of the registry, and we were shocked to know that files were missing, double allocation, triple allocation, all sorts of things, and we said no. What are we doing? Number one, we have digitalized and made sure that all our files are no longer physical files. They are now stored in the cloud. That is one of the greatest things that could be done to any property owner. Your properties are sure. They are safe now. Number two, for the first time, we are evolving what we call the estate sustainability policy to address directly what you have said, to make sure that we don't get back to that where we were. There was never an estate sustainability policy in the FHA. We are putting that down today. We are ensuring that there is no question of double allocation, triple allocation, because everything is like on your phone. If you type a particular number, all the names on that number, or you type a particular name, all the phones that are, they come up. Now, in the past, it was so disorganized, and as a result, they will give one land to 3 people, which is double allocation, triple allocation. What we have done is to make sure that right now, which is what the man complained about, I understand how he feels, because he's not seen this done in the past, and he does not believe that anybody's going to do it. So if you ask him for a dime, it's like another money going down the drain. I feel him, I understand him, and I don't blame him. But I think that when that man is asked in the next 6 months, we've just been here for over a year, please, let's understand that. And all these things I've said, in the last how many years, you cannot talk of a new estate that FHA has had. And FHA
all right, Mr. Yeto, I apologize because we are really running out of time.
Just a minute.
My sincere apologies. We are running out of time. Just a second. We're running out of time, and there are a number of other issues to raise. So just one last one from something that you said earlier. And I'm hoping that people will be able to go somewhere and say, okay, these are the things that FHA is doing, particularly about Festac Town or Bauchi or the one that you're going to encounter. But there's something that you said, that the Omoneles are selling federal government land. I don't understand that, and I would like you to explain it.
I'll tell you what it is. And I want to use this, and probably the last statement I'll make the most important. Please do not buy any land from anybody that is not chartered. There's something called a title. The title covers 2,000 hectares. Anybody that buys land within the 2,000 hectares can never get a title from anybody. But we are used to buying titles from families and this and that, and you can never have a title so long as that land belongs within that 2,000 hectares that is in Festac. Now, people have been buying land from families. Do you understand me saying the FHA is not there, it is a family land? Now what we are doing is granting amnesty, because we can't destroy all these people. We can't chase all of them out. Our MD CEO says, let us declare amnesty and see how we can bring the people to the extent that we do not disenfranchise the other people that have been officially allocated those lands. So what has been happening is that several families have been coming up and selling parts of land that already have been given a title to FHA. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we are having, and we are having all manner of multiple, meetings to enlighten the people and to be able to regularize their titles so that they can have something. All those mega structures you are seeing on Festac, except they are within FHA, they are mega structures without titles. But we are coming in to see to what extent we can sanitize the environment. So when people say we are selling, no. The current administration of FHA has not sold one land in FHA.
Do you intend to recover, especially those people that have allocated or collected land that were meant for parks, drainages? Yes. Are you recovering?
We are going back to all those. We are revoking. Our MD couldn't, he takes no prisoners. Any house that is on the drain or where it was, when you do a master plan, that master plan is approved. So anything outside the approved master plan is illegal. And we're just taking a bite at a time. Nigerians expect a whole lot, and we feel them because there's been so much failed expectation over the years. But I just want them to listen to what I've just said, verify everything I've said, and if there's a plan of people going in a certain direction, We want to have their cooperation to be able to
How much more
sanitize.
time should they give you?
In 1 year, they can see what we've done. We are bringing 2 avenues that are going to be done. We've done remedial works. We've done the gates. It will be commissioned in the next few. Also, within this 1 year, we have gotten 30 lands in prime locations.
Yeah, you asked Nigerians to give you more time.
Yes, also within 1 year. No, it's incremental.
Yeah, so how much more time should they give you for them to at least get to a place where there's equilibrium, they're satisfied? Well, not satisfied, but at least.
I think that if anybody says, give me 2 years to see what we have done, I don't think that will be
2 years
from when we came into office.
Fantastic. All right, then we'll certainly catch up with you within the 2 years. We have to thank you very much for coming on the program this morning. Architect Ezekiel Inya-Etok is the Executive Director, Estate Services of the Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria, and also the Director General of Nigeria First Project. Thank you once more for coming on Sunrise Daily.
What a privilege. Thanks so much for having us.